What you going by?
LaShonsvoice the Voicestress.
LaShonsvoice the Voicestress. All right, put your right hand up and your left hand on your word.
On my word?
Yeah.
What word? On the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, hold it like that. Do you solemnly agree that we have your permission to post this across all of our social media platforms?
I do.
Is there anything, and I do mean anything, that is off limits you don't want us to ask you about or touch on?
Not that I can think of.
If we do you understand that you can tell us no or to pass?
Yes.
Let's get it.
All right.
Okay, literally is no pressure. I'm your host, Bangem Bugg.
It's your girl, Just K for real.
Hey.
And we got a special guest. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
I am LaShonsvoice the Voicestress.
The Voicestress. Yeah.
Okay, so when we was talking, you mentioned you was from Dayton, Ohio. So I guess tell me, how was it growing up in Dayton?
Growing up in Dayton, see, and I traveled a lot, so I didn't just grow up in Dayton, but a good part of my childhood was in Dayton. Dayton was kind of like a northern country. It was fast and slow. It had its fastness, but it also had its slowness. Education was pretty decent there, and I had a pretty good childhood. I was only child for like 12 years, and then my mom had like 3 more after me. Well, yeah, 3 more after me. Then my dad adopted. So, you know, I had a really decent childhood. You know, some traumatic experiences, but overall decent.
So all your sisters, they by the same, y'all got all the same parents?
No, my baby sister and my middle sister have the same father, and my brother and I actually have the same father. We kind of just discovered that a couple of years ago.
What? How y'all find that out?
Well,
Or what did you think before too?
Well, I tried to tell my dad that I thought that he was his son, and it was like a big ordeal. So you know how when black people feel like it's some shame going on, they start sweeping shit under the rug. So it was kind of one of those things. But when my brother was born, everybody thought he was my baby. And there was no way that he would be so identical to me, like almost like a Irish twin. If you drew a mustache and a beard on me, I would look just like my brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he actually looks like some of my cousins. And I tried to tell my dad a long time ago that, you know, this is probably my real brother. He didn't want to accept it, but he finally came around.
So he thought it was the other dad?
He thought it was another man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why would he think that? Like, what?
Because it was another man in the life at the time, and they did it one time, and he didn't think that was the time that it happened, but it damn sure was. So
wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So you ever been in a situation like that where you got pregnant by?
Never been pregnant.
Okay.
Never been pregnant.
Gang. Oh man. So what y'all feel about the? Y'all already know the story. The dude who he brought his son some McDonald's or whatever, and the baby mother tried to say he wrong for only bringing his son food and not all of her kids some food.
There's so many standards to that. Nobody is in a position to me to say that anybody is right or wrong for that, because, you know, how can you? It's a double standard, because he's doing for his child, which is what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his duty to do for the other child. However, it would have been nice of him to do that. It would have been a nice gesture.
It's
not his obligation.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. I got tired of the story. You heard about it?
Yeah, I seen it. I mean, I date a lot of women with kids, and that's pretty much how it goes. I mean, if you live
They
with
wasn't
them,
dating. That was just his baby mother.
I mean, of course, yeah. If you ain't, I mean, I guess it depends on how close you get with the kids.
That's
too.
what Big Tigger was. Well, Big Tigger was saying how cool you are with the mom. Like, if they had a cool relationship, he probably would have got everybody some food. But they probably not cool.
Right.
Cause my situation now, like my ex daughter who called me dad, she got like 5 other siblings, so she the only one that really got close to me and shit, and she never talked back and was crazy, so we kind of stayed close. But her other kids, I don't really fuck with them like that.
Right.
So you ain't gotta do nothing for none of them, but you just cool with one of them.
I mean, I will for one of her other daughters, but we ain't really close like that.
And think about expense wise. I mean, my nigga, that's a platter. Like, you gotta get a whole platter for all them kids. That's not fair.
Why you ain't? If you was so pressed, like, why you ain't? You knew he was coming with the food. Why you ain't be like, I'm gonna cash out you some bread, get something for everybody?
Because she ain't got it. You know, motherfucker, he fucked with somebody who was struggling and fucked up, so now she feel like you need to help me because I'm fucked up. So
I agree. That's probably the mentality. You just never know.
Get a job. Go do something. She's talking about her food stamps don't hit till the 17th, girl. Whatever.
Well,
y'all never be fucked up like this.
I mean, nah, for real. Even if I am, I'm gonna get off my ass. Like, and you that type of person too. Like, you're not gonna never just be on your ass and expect somebody to give you something.
Because nobody never helped me anyway.
Shit,
right.
Ain't nobody coming to save you.
And we wanna be saved.
Right. I'm tired of being ultra independent out here. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, like, nah, she crazy as hell. He was like, you sound stupid. Like, she do.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I be watching, your Instagram, so I noticed you be saying, like, you lonely and all this kind of shit, so what is the problem with you, like, finding somebody?
Alright, so the truth of the matter is, I was in a 17-year marriage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I don't have anything bad to say about my ex. It just all boiled down to compatibility. My ambitions did not match his ambitions, and so we amicably decided to part ways, and that's pretty much the end of that story. However, man, it's just after being with somebody for 17 years, it is hard to go back from having that help me, regardless of the other things. And people are like, oh, you should have worked it out. But here's the reason why I felt like it was better to just kind of go on to a new chapter. I didn't want to wake up when I was 85 years old and be like, damn, I regret not trying XYZ. Because I wasn't going to be able to try it comfortably within the confines of the relationship, because he did not want that for me. And it was a big problem even when I tried to bring him into the media realm, like, hey, you can come with me. Like, he was knocking the vibes off. Like, it just wasn't his world.
Yeah.
So, when he would go places with me, he'd be mean mugging people, and then people would look at him standing behind me mean mugging, and they wouldn't approach me, and I'm like, you're really throwing this whole
shit. He was jealous?
Actually, some people normally look mean. People say that about me.
Yeah, he definitely had, like, I guess you call it a male version of the wrestling bitch face, and I don't think he really meant to be like that, but he was unapproachable. So if he was with me and he was unapproachable, that made me unapproachable, and you can't be like that when you're networking and going to events and interviewing and stuff like that. It defeats the whole purpose, so because I did not foresee myself stopping doing what I have always dreamed of doing since I was a little girl, which is being in media, I decided, like I said, we decided to amicably part ways. But it still doesn't make it any less harder, because now I wasn't having to worry about bills and stuff like that. Now I gotta worry about bills and try to travel and try to network. So I did make it a little bit harder on myself, but I freed myself up from hurting him, disrespecting our bond and doing it anyway against his wishes. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like you gotta make it now.
I know, like,
right?
Like my back is against the wall,
yeah.
or it was all for nothing,
yeah.
or it was all for nothing. Yeah, absolutely right.
That shit is crazy.
That's the reality of it. Yeah.
So when y'all got together, you didn't mention this before the marriage?
So
when did y'all get married? How old were you when y'all married?
23 something, 23, 24. We got married in 2004, and we broke up last year, December of last year. And let's just say my ambitions were already, I had a foundation for my current ambitions, but it was when we finally got out of Ohio and away from family, where the comfort zone was and we had to make it on our own, that I started trying other things that I probably would not have tried while I was there. Because if I would have stayed in Ohio was a textile motor vehicle city. I would have ended up getting a job at somewhere like GM and been a 9-to-5 fucking factory worker for the rest of my life. And I knew that I was different. I always been a big dreamer because I traveled the world. I've seen a lot of stuff with my aunt, who allowed me to travel with her when she was in the Navy. I've been to Dover, Delaware, Escondido, California, all over the United States as a young girl. I seen so much stuff that I could not allow myself to just be a 9 to 5 worker. And no disrespect to those who work 9 to 5s, because I kind of have to work one too for now. But that's not, retirement is not the goal for me. Like, I don't feel like it makes any sense logically and physiologically and psychologically and physically to work until you're 65 years old, knowing that you only got 70, 80 years up in you. So you mean to tell me you work until you're 65 years old and you only got 11 years left to kick it? Hell no. No, that does not compute for me. So yeah, so I had to make a decision. And you're right, yeah, it's like, if I don't make it, it's like, yo, dumb ass should have just stayed fucking Stepford wife and been comfortable and not have to worry about shit for the rest of my life. But hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So
yeah, but go hard.
Hey,
go hard.
Yeah.
That shit all for nothing.
All right.
Okay, so are you close to your dad?
My dad and I have a very fickle relationship. It's kind of, it's kind of like, kind of like real peculiar, because we have our times where, we're really bonded, and then we have times where I feel like I have to step away. So the thing about it right now, and this is the honest truth, the relationship is kind of strained because he still has a bond with my ex. And he, you know what I'm saying, the family's supposed to get the memo.
Yeah.
When I break up, we all supposed to break up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they be hanging out?
He be like asking him for favors, and yeah, I think he still comes around, and my brother is still real close with him too. So it just kind of puts a little strain on it. So it kind of sting a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why? You want to hang out with him too?
Who?
Your ex?
No.
You don't want them to hang out with him?
He's dead to me. I
thought y'all was cool though.
We are, but I don't backtrack though. So it's just for me to pretend like, he don't exist no more. I mean,
so you can't be friends with your exes?
I really don't see the value in that per se, and that's just my experience. Friends, like, what we gonna do? Go skating or some shit like that? Nah,
like it's somebody who kind of know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that y'all grew up together at a point in time. But I guess because you becoming a different person, it don't matter.
Exactly. I'm not the same person that I was, honestly, when we first got together. Because it's like, when I got down here and I seen, like, how many options were as far as, like, just stuff. And I could be dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm right for what I did, but I went with what my gut and my intuition said do. Yeah, and it's like, I understand tradition. I understand that, people will probably look at me like, damn, she fucking stupid. She had it all. Like, I mean, literally, I did have it all. I didn't have to worry about nothing. But it's like, okay, like, you don't have to worry about nothing. But again,
but you wasn't kind of happy.
I was not happy.
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah. That shit not worth it.
Right. I felt unfulfilled. Like, he was a great person. He did his duty, what a husband was supposed to do for a wife, but I was not happy because there were so many things that I wanted to accomplish, and these things, like I said, were in me since I was a child. Just the foundation of how I even got into building up to be a voice actress.
I was about to say, what's your focus? Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm.
So voice acting is your focus?
It is. I currently own an online university where I can teach people the basic foundation of voice acting, to the point where I can take an 8-year-old, run them through this course, and they will be familiar not only with the voice acting jargon and terminology, but they will be able to run a small business and market themselves and put themselves out there. Like, that's how my course is like designed. It's like layman's, but it just runs you through. And my course is the only course in the voice acting realm, first of all, developed by an African-American woman. Okay. And then second of all, that teaches all 3 basic voice acting, engineering, and marketing.
Your ish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a traumatic experience you had as a child.
Let's see. Alright, so I'll tell you some kind of like supernatural type stuff that I found out. Y'all probably gonna think I'm crazy after this, but it's okay.
I'm excited. This is dope.
So when I was about 2 years old, and the reason why I know I was 2 years old, because after I was like 3 or 4, I wasn't sleeping in the same bed with my father anymore. I was laying in the bed with my father, and the TV was on in the living room, and I was looking out into the hallway. Okay, the only way that I could describe what I saw was if you remember what an Ewok looked like from Star Wars. And not the Ewok, but them little things that fix on the cars and stuff they had on the hood and all you could see was their eyes. You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
So it's like I got you, like a hooded thing with eyes.
Yeah, but this one didn't have eyes. So anyway, so this thing, I seen it like scooch like this up to the doorway. And he just like stood at me for a minute. And then he like came at me and I was like, ah! And mind you, I'm like 2 years old. So my dad would go like, what's wrong? And I'm like 2, so I'm like speaking gibberish trying to tell him what I saw, but I don't have command of the English language back then because I'm only 2 years old. So I'm like, daddy, trying to tell him what's going on. Okay, so after that experience, I think that was like an entry point or whatever. It was kind of like the beginning. After that, I developed an imaginary friend. Now, you know that when children develop imaginary friends, they are usually a fracture of other traumatic things that happen to children to kind of protect them mentally from what's going on so they don't break. So it, like, your mind kind of like, y'all think I'm crazy. So your mind just fractures and stuff like, alternate personalities and stuff like that. Well, why do you think in church when they do the altar call, they call it the altar call? It's not the altar, it's not just a podium. It's altar because you're bringing the other parts of yourself that are kind of like out there. You're bringing those under submission, so you bring them to the altar so you can keep whatever they got going on up under your feet. Okay, so you bring those entities that you have working in you, because the biggest misnomer to me about human nature is you could be the nicest person, sweetest person 80% of the time. Then if you have that 20% of you that's not so pleasant, they always want to say that's the real you. That is not the real you. That's just some shit that you got going on that you just couldn't contain it at that point.
So your imaginary friend was mean?
My imaginary friend was not mean. My imaginary friend was a grown man. He had yellow eyes and pale green skin, and he wore a big hat like like Curious George's dad. Like the man with the yellow hat. Oh, hell no. And guess what his name was?
What was his name?
Mr. Welcome.
Mr. what?
Mr. Welcome.
Mr. Welcome.
Yes. So, all right, I'm going somewhere with this.
That's she crazy. She crazy. Let's go. Something latched onto her ass. Is that nigga here?
No. So by the time I was 12, he was gone. And that's because I had a problem with church. And I couldn't understand why people would talk this talk in church, but none of it would line up with what they would do. So I had took a whole summer and I locked myself in a car and I read the Bible for a whole summer because I needed to understand why everybody was so contradictory towards what they would say and what they would do. And I got a real good understanding of kind of like biblical principalities. And I just realized that people are just fucking liars and hypocrites. It's no other. And then like some of the things that are taught or whatever just are not right. Like it's just not right. So anyway, so I say all that to say that was my most traumatic childhood experience, but I think it stemmed from some other things that I don't want to talk about, but that's kind of where all that came into play because, it was like a protection. But again, that Mr. Welcome left at about 12 years old when I kind of was like, I don't want to entertain that anymore. I'm trying to go a different route with my life. And so I made that conscious decision at the age of 12.
So you sent the spirit away.
Kind of like with my actions, I didn't like tell him like I don't want to talk to you no more. Just like what I did because I took command over what was going on with me psychologically. There was no need for him to protect me anymore. So I, normalized myself by trying to understand human nature, and by understanding human nature as far as when it comes to religiosity or religion, it helped me get that under control.
Did he talk?
He didn't really talk per se, but like the things that he would have me do, he wasn't mean or nasty, but he would have me do shit like set booby traps for people, and it wasn't nothing that would ever really work. It was just like make a pillow or something fall on somebody's head. Now, mind you, I'm still a child when all this is happening, so I'm not like fucking Chucky or no shit like that. I'm not trying to kill nobody, but it was just like little mischievous things.
Chuckyana.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
I had a cousin, right, and I remember he had one, my older cousin. And now that you said people have one, because I never had one to protect themselves. I remember it was a faggot that used to be around in our family. So that made me think that's probably what this shit was.
Yep. Well, he was being molested or something like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Yeah. My story is very relatable to that, which is why I developed mine. Yeah. But that's why I said I kind of don't want to go into that part, but that's where that came from. Absolutely. Yep.
And I remember, I brought this up before, but yeah, the nigga was coming around. He still coming around the last time. And I remember he came over my auntie house and he had brought a dog. Like, this nigga, like, damn near 60. He was like, look what I had bought or whatever. And I looked at him. I was like, I should beat the shit out of this nigga. But I'm lucky he never did nothing to me, though.
Right.
And then I asked my mom, because we actually, we went to the zoo with him one time. Then I asked my mom, I said, why the hell did y'all let us even go around this nigga? And y'all they knew about the shit.
Swear to God.
And they was like, well, did he do something to you? But I'm like, I wouldn't.
I mean, by this time it would have been too fucking late now, though, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's that bullshit right there.
And if I say yeah, what's gonna happen?
Exactly.
No, I would have got that nigga if he would have did.
No, I'm saying them. Like,
they probably wouldn't have did shit.
Right. Exactly. My point exactly. Yep.
Okay, I miss this person, but I'm glad they are no longer in my life.
I would have to say my aunt. Like, I love her. She was 1 year older than me. And she's still in my life per se, but we grew up when we were young like sisters. But she used to gaslight me all the time. She used to gaslight me, like, we would have the same stuff. Like she would have a juice and I would have a juice and it'd be the same color. She would drink almost all of hers and I would have like half of mine left. She would try to convince me for hours and hours that mine was hers and hers was mine. And I'm like, you crazy, so she used to do stuff like, I still love her, that's my aunt or whatever,
but she crazy.
But I wasn't trying to deal with that for the rest of my life. So as soon as I got old enough to kind of separate from that psychological abuse, because I had already seen enough and been through enough psychological abuse, hence my imaginary friend, that I didn't want to have to deal with that, even if it was from a family. Like, and that's the misnomer that people are starting to wake up from. I don't give a fuck if you are family. I will cut your ass the fuck off. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Unapologetically.
Yeah, and
I love cutting people off.
I don't really relish it or love it, but I will do it. And I'm a diehard because I'm gonna try everything first.
Yes.
And I've been learning that from a close friend of mine. I'm gonna try everything first. But if it comes to the point where I get to the point of cutoff, I mean, it just is what it is.
That's why I love it. It's like you showed me who you was. Like, thank you. Like, I don't feel bad. You did this.
Right. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're an evil person or a bad person.
It's just for me.
Right. It's just the perspective that we deal with them, and it's just no need for it. Yeah, absolutely.
There's some good heart people who, they make mistakes. So I'm not a person who just like try to cut motherfuckers out every time they try to, they make a mistake.
Right. Yeah, I'm not either. Like I said, I'm a diehard. I mean, 17 years. I put 17 years in. And don't get me wrong, like, he wasn't no angel and I wasn't no angel. And
you cheated?
No, I mean, it was like some difficulties that arose, but I wouldn't go into that, and that's kind of like real personal anyway, but that's not something that I would discuss if I did, but that wasn't the case per se.
Okay.
But it was just like he wasn't no angel and I wasn't no angel. And sometimes cheating, if it is cheating, sometimes it doesn't always have to be physical. There's emotional infidelity and all that, work life and all that shit.
Anything that you wouldn't want them to know, you cheating.
Yeah.
Anything.
Absolutely.
You hiding that shit, you cheating.
Right. Yeah.
If someone
from the cheater.
you get cheated on.
Nah, you cheat.
Who told you that?
You told me how to cheat. You was like, you get another phone and all that shit.
Oh,
no, I'm telling you, this is what
that's
I
a
hear.
fucking whole operation.
Nah, he was
that's a whole operation
Right
I was
there.
like, no, I got my bad phone. He was like,
shit.
you just get another phone.
I mean, that's common.
That's doing too much.
Nah.
That's doing too much.
But most girls I date, they'll just get an app. And they'll delete the app whenever they come in the house. You know what I'm saying? Instead of the phone shit.
And what you do?
No, let's just let the relationship fall apart.
You just what?
Let's just let the relationship fall apart.
Why you cheating?
Nah, I don't really have time like that. I work a lot, like for real.
Now you don't cheat tonight.
Okay.
I love it.
If someone pours negative energy into you all the time, basically like complaining and all this kind of shit, like how do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, I try to be empathetic because I have been through some pretty tough storms where I found myself like, why is this happening to me? And but then I've had some friends that kind of were there for me through my tough times, and even when you like in that portion where you're complaining and you don't understand, or you realize that you made a mistake, or you think you might have made a mistake, I go through all of those emotions, and they are negative emotions. And I have people that I vent to and that I talk to, but I try not to over talk about it because eventually, like, people get tired of that shit. Like, so if people start pouring too much negative energy and I start to see that they're not really working towards a solution and it's more about the attention, then I just kind of fall back. Like, I don't blast them. I don't really try to judge them. I will try to make suggestions and, very loving suggestions. But, I mean, I can't walk you into a therapy session if you don't want to go. That's always like, to me, I am an advocate for therapy, but I have always believed this ever since I was a little girl. I would never go to a therapy session, and I don't mean this to be racist or anything. I would never set my child, if I had one, or I would never talk to a therapist that didn't have the same skin color as me.
Absolutely.
Because I do not feel like
it's a different trauma.
Yeah, there's no textbook that can make you relate to me.
Yeah. But sometimes that can be the same case as far as like classism. Like, I listen to some people's music and initially it's like, oh, shoot, shoot, bang, bang. Until you listen and you like, damn, they really lived this shit.
Right.
Wow, this is really somebody's real story.
Right.
And I can only say, wow, I couldn't imagine, you know what I'm saying? So it could be, even somebody who not from the same area as you wouldn't understand your struggle, what you talking about.
Right. And so that's the thing where I get into now. Like, I used to be this like conspiracy theorist, and I was like, oh, these people are doing all this and all that. But I have come so far away from that, because the thing about it is, you don't judge people's choices if you don't know what their options were. You don't know if somebody that they love was under threat of death or what, or why they chose X, Y, Z, because you don't know what their options were. You don't know. So
that's so empathetic.
Ooh. I mean, we don't.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
People can go say, oh, so-and-so worship the devil and they do this and they do all that, and the horns and the eyes. But as they were climbing up that ladder and the decisions that they made, or whatever the case may be, their agreements that they made behind closed doors, when they got to those points, they may have realized that I may have done something wrong, but I'm in this shit now, so I got to keep going. So when it gets to a certain level, you don't fucking know what their options are. You don't. So I don't want to hear about no fucking Jay-Z and Beyonce doing some shit when you seen somebody drop $100 bill and you pick that shit up and put it in your pocket. Don't tell me about no motherfucking Jay-Z or Beyonce when your moral code is fucked up for $100.
So what if they not? Huh? What if they moral code not? What if they really are somebody that is a genuinely good person, or like their intentions are pretty pure?
You saying Jay-Z? But that's
no,
what
I'm saying the person like who is judging them. Like, do I get to judge them if I'm not?
You can. Anybody can judge them, but that's still a matter of perspective and perspective alone. Because at the end of the day, again, you don't know what their options were. So if you don't know what their options were, maybe, I mean, like I said, maybe their options were some, if they didn't do this or if they did do that, somebody close to them would get into a random car accident or something
So
like
fuck
that.
everybody else for your family then.
I don't know if I'm trying to. I don't know if that's
Like,
the message that I'm conveying. I'm just saying.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, you never know what situation they was put in to make those decisions.
Right.
But do it make it right? Like,
what is right and wrong? Right and wrong, in my opinion,
perspective?
It's perspective, but it's what you can live with. Because I feel like
what you can live with.
Well, like if it don't make you, if you can sleep, if you can sleep with it at night though, but if you can sleep with it at night, but at the same token, culturally speaking, okay, we might say that the white man can rationalize that, but which race is still, even though we're kind of climbing up because we starting to do a lot of the stupid shit that we see, but what race, or still has the worst suicide and all these psychological problems?
Ooh.
Like white people. So what he's saying is
that they good at doing it
the crisis of the conscience doesn't really get to them, even though they perpetuate a lot of bullshit.
No, they are fucked up.
Exactly.
They fucked up.
Right. So
we are stronger mentally.
Yes, we are. However, if you think about epigenetics, I don't know if you know what that is, but epigenetic. Okay, so you know what genetics is, right? Something that's passed on. Then epigenetics is something that's overwritten. It's like where you have the genetics, but something has been overwritten over your original genetics to reprogram you. So if we have trauma of slavery in our system, in our DNA, that passes on to us, and they were perpetuators and people that slaughtered people and men, tortured this and that, and they got some sick shit passing up through their fucking DNA too.
Yeah, so epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work.
Exactly. So you got genetics.
So that's like a product of your environment.
Yes, and sometimes it can also be a program from the people who endowments for your schools and your colleges, and they miseducate on purpose. That can program your epigenetics, your education. I mean, which is why that's why we gotta go to school for fucking 8 hours a day,
so they can program us.
Exactly.
It says unlike genetic changes, epigenetics changes are reversible and do not change your DNA sequence, but they can change how your body reads a DNA sequence.
That is absolutely correct.
So that's programming.
It is programming.
It's just reprogramming you.
And it's more external. Sometimes it's mental, but it can be physical ways of it too. And that's what they're working on.
That kind of goes to the belief of like we take on what our ancestors went through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The DNA, the trauma that passes through the DNA.
Passes
and
through.
that's what I'm saying. If we take on trauma
like
through our
food.
DNA, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Your fucking food is getting murdered.
Right.
Fucking kid dying, and then you taking that into your body, taking it
The angry chicken syndrome. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you think like sexual trauma passed down?
Fuck yeah. That's why we got sexual deviance and so much child molestation going on, and all this crazy shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like that is trauma from being fucking bred with your mother. When they used to breed us, they would take the best looking men and the best looking of the women. They didn't give a hell if you were kin or not. They gonna put you together and say, y'all have sex with each other because we want y'all to have some. They didn't care if y'all was brothers, sisters. So that is why we have all these fucking quirks that go on with us sometimes, and people have these deviancies that are kind of like it comes natural to them, but it's passed along. And so some of us are blessed enough to recognize when we have a deviancy, regardless of what it is. It could be just a woman being promiscuous, like for whatever reason. It could be a result of being molested, or it could just be something that is an innate part of her personality. Once we recognize these deviancies, then we are sitting at our crossroads. Or do you want to continue this behavior, or do you want to fucking do something about the shit?
So you think it's like born whores?
I think that there can be early influences, but yes, I do think sexual deviancies can be passed on through the genes, and that will be epigenetics and genetics sometimes. Actually, it could be a combination of the both. Just like soy is known, like this is this is a tough one. I won't say that it's the end all be all truth to it, but it's known that soy products feminize little boys. It is known as a scientific fact, so that is epigenetics as well, because it's overriding the original DNA or genetic code.
It's a lot of it in baby formula, right?
Yes. Yes. So sometimes we may not be born certain ways, but it can definitely be installed in us. But people can absolutely be born that way, because if they were taking soy products,
it's like being born a freak. You know what I'm saying? Like it, you know what I'm saying? Like you might not be considered a hoe because it's that crossroads. It's like, am I gonna fuck every nigga or am I gonna fuck the niggas I like?
Right.
How I wanna fuck every nigga? You know what I'm saying? So you got the freaky stuff in you, but you got that crossroads where you're not going. It's not to an extreme.
That's how you think.
I mean, it's possible though. Why is it not possible? Because sometimes it can be a trigger. It could be a trigger due to a physical action. Again, like molestation or something like that. But sometimes it could just be an innate personality flaw, defect, or
is
whatever.
Is it a flaw?
Well, that's what I'm saying, or whatever you want to classify it as. Because I mean, shit, like
it's what you can live with.
There you go. Hey.
Full circle.
Hey. Mad.
Okay. There you go. It was that for me.
Y'all goofy. Last time you thanked God and the last time you questioned God.
Ooh, today. Right now.
I be questioning God like
being I told God about everything. What's good, bro? You good? All right, man. Thank you.
Okay, my belief is and this is how I arrived at that belief. Studying religion, I noticed that the Eastern people, Indians and all those over in the Eastern,
hemisphere.
They picture God as being within. People in the Western culture picture God as this external person, which can then be immortalized as a white man. But everybody else, other than Christianity, like, I don't know if you've seen this chart, but everybody else's God looks like them. The Indian God, Vishnu and Krishna and all them, or Vashti and all of them, it looked like them. The Africans got, the Zulu, what all the deities, but they look like them.
But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean,
get into that one.
But then when you come over to America and you got all these African Americans, the person that we supposed to worship as God looks like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy. Like, how the fuck? How do we even let that happen? Anyway, it's definitely epigenetics. Definitely some conditioning programming going on with that. But
so
to answer the question, when I question God, I also question myself and my decisions. Because God didn't make me do shit. God didn't make me do a damn thing. Everything I do, either I did it kind of maybe on a jerk reaction or not really being as cognizant as I should have been while making a decision, and then maybe have some regrets. So anything that I don't blame God for anything, any tragedy that befalls me, unless it's something that I totally couldn't control, like a car accident or something like that, I blame myself. I don't question God. I question, like, what made me do that, or what made me, get into this or that situation. And then the other side to that is when you said, when did the last time I thanked God?
I'm trying to look up some other shit.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Last time you thank God, last time you question God.
I thank God. I thank God, and I say the God of the universe, because the universe is a beautiful creation, and I'm all into that manifestation. I'm on it.
I say my creative.
Yeah.
I feel like you get to the right address.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all intentions and your heart or whatever. But I thank them every day. Like, even the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm just like, you know what? It could definitely be worse. Even though sometimes I'd be like, man, like, I don't even want to say it, but sometimes I just be like, man, because it gets really, really lonely. I mean, like literally going from being with somebody day in and day out for 17 years consecutively to going to being absolutely alone and by yourself, like a majority of the day if you're not conducting business. Like that shit is fucking traumatic.
It's not peaceful.
It is traumatic sometimes.
Peaceful.
There are, because I mean you're a man, so y'all built different. Like it, and I guess it could be peaceful when people like I said it earlier. I'm not this ultra independent. Like
it's peaceful when you want it.
Right, but I'm saying like I'm not out here like I don't need no man. No, excuse me. I need, you know what I'm saying, not necessarily financially or anything like that, but I like companionship. I come with everything. I come with everything. I got, my situation is idea. I'm not trying to, put my stuff out there, but my situation is idea. So I got assets to bring to the table if that's important, which it really shouldn't be.
DM her. She the whole table is what she's saying.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I made some smart investments where I might not be where I want to be now, but in about 5 to 10 years from now, I'm gonna be all right. But
can
still,
I stay at your house?
you sure can. But still, like it, it still gets really lonely, and those times can be really, really, really hard. And that's kind of when I'll be like, God, what the fuck? Or me, like, why the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, those are when those questions. But at the same token, I'm still thankful because I'm still here. I do help a lot of people, and I'm very sincere when I tell somebody I'm going to help them. I don't half-ass. So I try to be a blessing to as many people as I can and just be a sincere person in all my ways. So, yeah.
I feel like I get you. Like, I've been through loneliness. And I say, like, I don't wish this shit on nobody.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard
like,
when you don't want it. But you gonna get to a point where it's like, nah, this is like, I'm cool.
I don't want to get to that point,
but
though.
You want to be able to be alone. Like, people
I
are so afraid.
I don't want it, though.
But you can have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had the choice to have that companion. Or, like, have your companion, but still have your time to yourself. Like, it's going to be all right. Where, like, if you got to be alone, you're going to be okay. And at the same time, still enjoy your companion.
Right.
But be a companion for yourself.
True.
Like,
yeah. You ain't wrong.
People so scared to be alone these days.
To me, it's not about scared. It's just about I just don't want to fucking be by myself. Period. I just don't. Like, I can. I was the only child for 12 years.
That was before you knew companionship.
Right.
So you didn't know what you didn't have. Now you know.
But I was fine.
Because you didn't know. You didn't know. Then now you're like, oh shit, this shit is different. This is different. Wow. And now you don't have it. So it's like, wait, that was different. I like the different, So learn how to be in this. And you want to be, you want to be entertained or companions, book meetings. You gotta make it. Find stuff to do.
Yeah.
But you want to be hugged up and shit, and deep conversations with people about stuff that you don't.
And that's me. Like, I always give a disclaimer before I date anybody. Like, I'm clingy, but I'm not needy. Like, I don't need your ass. But if I'm around you, like, I'm gonna be all up on you. Like, I'm gonna be all up on you.
So you got people like trying to holler at you, or like?
It's so crazy.
Are you real picky?
It's so crazy. No, it's like it's so like the ones that I be wanting, they don't want me, but it be a ton of them like coming at me, and I'm like, nah.
So what's your type? What the guy who was just here, that's your type?
He's cool. I don't know if I would say my type. He's real cool. Like, anybody could be my type. Like, I don't really have, I mean, I kind of do have a physical preference.
What is it?
What is it?
I ain't telling. I ain't telling.
It's
like light-skinned tall niggas or something with long hair.
No. She said no.
Almost the exact opposite.
Or you like dark niggas with
No.
Bald head niggas or what's the type?
No, I don't want to say, because I ain't trying to have my inbox like. By the time they get to watch this, they gonna think I'm fucking crazy anyway. So.
I'm like, God gonna might send them to you after you.
Right, you got manifested, right? I was gonna say something about that, the God part. So you was like, you don't feel like God makes you do anything. So do you feel the same way as far as when good stuff happened? You like, God ain't do this, I did this.
Well, I feel like. And with manifestation, whatever you're vibrating on is what's going to come to you. If you're vibrating low, negative energy and low things are going to happen to you. If you're vibrating high, you're going to attract those higher things. Like when I first started learning about manifestation, before I even knew what it was, motherfuckers told me it was witchcraft. But now you got millionaires and billionaires saying that they used to do the stuff that Zig Ziglar did. I read a book about Zig Ziglar, and I told somebody in my family about it, and they were like, yeah, that's why when you watch the movies in Bloody Mary and you say stuff in the mirror, you do stuff. But that's what you want to do. You want to conjure up whatever, your destiny or whatever you want. But they made us scared of that. They made us disconnect from that, especially with that serpent and the rainbow bullshit that they showed us when we was little. And it made us hate Haitians because it made us afraid of them, like they were all the voodoo people, or they people in Louisiana, like they all voodoo and zombies and all this shit. They made us disconnect from that spiritual awakening that we're now starting to go
into using.
Exactly. And that's why I said that's why they canceled that show, Lovecraft Country, because it taught that very thing. First of all, what it did was told white people, y'all not going to abuse our power anymore because this is what y'all went. Y'all went out to the remote lands. Your fucking Steven Spielbergs and all them that got all these wonderful stories, they went and ventured into Africa and all these ancient ancestors, and they talked to all these people and had them tell about the stories of the hieroglyphics on the wall, and then they turned our culture stories into their $1 million movies and stole our wealth. That way, just in that. I'm not even talking about the physical stuff that they stole from us. And then you know the Lovecraft Country, what it basically said was black people get your magic back and fight magic with magic. If you look at medium. It's all a spiritual, like this, the war that we fighting right now is not physical. This is principalities and rulers in high places. This has nothing to do with the physical fight. So black people, get your magic back. Okay. Like learn it, you know, and I ain't saying go be a fucking warlock or a witch or nothing like that. They use those terms and throw them out there to make us scared. But Zig Ziglar, a $1 million white man, used to get up and say these spiritual sayings. He was conjuring his destiny. Now you got people revealing and making money off of telling people to do that. Black people been doing that since the beginning of time, but when we got over here, they disconnected us from that, and we begin to accept the situations that were put upon us. Now I will say this, and this is my theory. I'm going to do a paper and a thesis on this one day. You know how we be looking at the 50s and the 60s, and we be like, I don't know how they would have did that, because if that would have been me, I would have been like, hell nah. Like when they were spraying them with dogs, spraying them with water hoses and stuff like that. You know that how they survived that? You know what a sulfur geofrequency is? You know, we've been listening to all this manifestation, all these mantras and the little music and stuff that you can listen to bring
the tones. Yes. So frequencies.
Yes. Do you know the instrument that matches that has almost been taken completely out of the church that they had, that we don't have? The organ. Though when they would go to church on Sunday morning, it wasn't just about going to say, oh, now my sin is wiped away. Those people were being healed from the inside with the organ playing. The Lucifer was the minister of music before he fell, said his lungs were like the bagpipes. So music is important, and I believe that that's how that generation of the 50s and 60s survived, because they had those sophrology, that organ that just ministered to them in a way that no words really could. That's how they survived that. We don't have that. So our temperament is different. We like, fuck that. And now we starting to really say fuck that, because we starting to understand and connect more dots now. Because not only are we coming away from the endowment teaching, because if you follow the money, the teachings that are put in the school are not endorsed by us. And the master's tools never tear down the master's house. So if they are products of the, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not tearing down schools or whatever, because it has its place.
Clear it up.
It has its place. But I'm just saying, but at the root of it all, like how are so many of us disconnected, because all of us go to the same fucking school. Now that we're kind of coming away from that, we're starting to learn different things. We're starting to come into our own, and now they understand that. That's why we're getting ready to go into this new money. That's why we're getting ready to go into this new money. And they've been teaching about crypto in white colleges out in Portland, Oregon, where I went to school. Troutdale, Oregon. My next door neighbor was Rod Strickland of the Portland Trailblazers. I've lived in suburban white neighborhoods, and I've seen the difference between suburbia education and inner city school. I lived both worlds, and you cannot tell me that people get a fair shake in education if you come from suburban and you go to the inner city. It's not the same, and don't ever let anybody tell you that it is. So what I say is people are just kind of waking up out of this slumber, and we starting to say fuck that shit. But that's why they getting ready to go to this new money, because like I was saying, they've been teaching that in suburban high schools for about 8 years, and we're just now fucking learning about what a blockchain is within the last 2 years. So we are terribly behind, and that is going to shake us back into slavery if we don't fucking get caught up. The other thing is virtual reality. If you go to some virtual reality platforms, we don't have enough African American representation in virtual reality. You put your face in front of that thing and won't even recognize you as a black person, because we don't have any representation or people that look like us that are behind the scenes orchestrating and building these platforms and programs. It's so fucking much. But yeah.
Okay, you mentioned the organ or something. So the organ make you not want to fight back, you saying?
Okay, you're oversimplifying it to the point where it's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the organ elicits a type of musical frequency that is akin to solfeggio frequencies, that if you play them at like 538 megahertz and 542 megahertz and all these different certain frequencies are like, sometimes they're like angelic tones, sometimes they put you on a vibration of money, peace, love, all kinds of things, and they clear out bad energy. Like all these tones can do everything, just like with the music. Now when the Rockefellers, and you can research this, when the Rockefellers got a hold of the music industry and they took it over, they made it mandatory to record at a certain frequency that was negative for the body, the mind, and the soul, and they made that a standard so that the people who mastered the music would master it at that frequency. So even though the music might have been positive, somewhere in those waves were having a negative impact on us as a people in a generation. So it goes deep.
Like producer wise, it's just like the way a person sings.
I'm talking about when they master the music, they wanted it to be okay. So you know how we had the 35s and basically, like, I think it was four something. If you look up the connection between the Rockefeller standard of music, how they implemented it, the frequency at which they wanted the records to spin or play on the record players, they wanted it to all funnel into this certain frequency where it had a negative effect on people, period. Like it was just their mandate. It was a mandate that they did to music, period. So it didn't matter, like, you know, and that's why they came after James Brown so hard, because he was aware of shit like that and he tried to fight that and they made an example out of him in so many ways. So
did he have songs that was like on the frequency that they didn't want?
I don't really know that, but I know that when he tried to get control of radio, that was a big no-no because he was not wanting to comply with state-run radio rules. He wanted to be free with radio and do it how he saw fit. And it is a state-run program.
I love him.
And yes,
James Brown.
He was amazing.
He is outstanding.
Amazing.
Like his story is like overcoming struggle over and over and over and over. There was nothing you could put in front of this man that he would not get past. Like no matter what, that man is amazing.
And he was like an angel in a way because he had a way with music. Like they articulated that so beautifully. Like his relationship with music was just like out of this world. Like I know somebody else that got a relationship with music like that. Brilliant, fucking brilliant. You only find so many people like that. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, he fire. He's like one of my inspirations.
Yes.
Name him right, James Brown song.
Get on up. The big payback. The boss paid the cost to be the boss. I did a freestyle on that. Thank you. That's my.
That's why she do got the flows. I see.
I love it. Like I recently saw that movie. Like after I went through all my stuff with my little domestic violent ex and stuff, and I kept feeling like I felt like that when I watched that movie. I made other people watch that movie, and my friend was like, "Bro, you should be like a spokesperson for this shit," because I didn't catch none of that. They just see in the music and the crack and like the funny theatrics things, but it's like no. Look at what he keep doing everything he not supposed to do.
Right.
He was in. Did you see the movie Get On Up?
No. That was enough. I hate that I waited so long to watch that. I wish I would have went to see it in the movie, so I would have got that whole theater. But I'm so glad they did that movie, and I'm so glad Chadwick Boseman got to play it. I love the way he pulled that character together. But that was just beautiful. Like,
is it similar to Ray?
I mean, I watched Ray when I was younger, so I don't know. I'll probably have to watch it again to tell you, but it's the same kind of biopic, like Jamie Foxx being him, Chadwick Boseman being him.
A story that brings you to tears bring you to tears, and a story that brings a smile to your face.
Okay.
She flashed her lashes. I got this one.
Well, when it's on the spot, it kind of is eluding. But a story that brings me to tears. Huh?
Will be.
A story that brings me to tears. Let's see, something that makes me cry every time. Probably like something like All Dogs Go to Heaven. I'm an animation freak. Like I like cartoons.
You seem like you like cartoons.
I love her. I am like anime. Oh. Like I recently got a chance to start watching the Dragon Ball Z. I hate that I missed out on that one. I like Naruto. I like Hunter x Hunter. I like Dragon Ball. I like Jujutsu Kaisen.
You like Tom and Jerry?
Oh yeah, I like regular cartoons too, but I'm more like an anime fan.
That's
yeah.
Grown up people stuff.
Yeah, it is like
grown up cartoons.
But
I'm saying
Tom and Jerry was kind of raw too, though. They had some.
But they really talk.
True that.
I like it because it's like an opera.
But it was like kind of fucked up. Like I felt bad for Tom though sometimes.
Because he never get it.
Yeah, because he always got left with the. He always got left with the bad end of the stick, and sometimes Jerry would be the provocateur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nigga, like
I never thought about them James that deep. Like
I did, because I was like, Jerry's a fucking asshole, my nigga.
I didn't like Dragon Ball Z because I just.
I'm saying not like a movie. I'm talking about like a real life story.
Like, man, fuck that.
Shit, fucking, I tell you what, Sandra Bland's story always stands out to me.
Hold
No,
on,
your life.
your story. I mean,
my story. I thought you were talking about like stories that like story.
She got all the answers.
Oh yeah. Damn. My my dog just dying. Like, those were my kids. Like, I still think about that, and I just will lose it, like, every now and then. Like, I had 2 Great Danes, and I did have them during my marriage. And, like, it was, like right after my dog died, like, stuff just got worse. Like, those are my kids. Like, Great Danes normally only live to be, like, 8 years old, and mine lived to be 14 and 16. So they defied the odds already. Like, we knew they was going to go, but it was, like, how they went was so mysterious. Like, one of them just died. Like, I don't even know why he died. One day he was, like, 180 pounds, and he lost 50 pounds. All of a sudden, it was, like, skin and bones, and we had to go get him put down.
Like parvo.
It's almost like a dog parvo, but I think, see, he had a bad habit of drinking still water, so it could have had some, like, parasites or something in it. And so he just, like, literally, it was like one day he was healthy, and, like, 2 days later, he had, like, rapidly lost weight within a week's time. And I was like, what the hell? And then he couldn't poop, and it was just all kinds of stuff. And then my other one, his name was Dayton, which I'm from Dayton. His bowels locked up on him. Our air had went out in the house, and so I put a fan in front of him, which was a bad idea. So he started panting, and that fan was blowing in his face, and it blew his stomach out. And so once that's like the #1 killer of Great Danes. We didn't know what to do. It was during COVID. The damn animal hospital wasn't open, so like even if we could take him, he would have been dead by the time we got there. We had gave him some gas X pills. That didn't work. It made it worse, and his intestines twisted up on him, and he died like right in front of me. So that was like that hurt. Like that hurt, because like I said, that was like my children. So yeah, yep. And okay, so you said the other thing that made me happy.
Yeah, put a smile to her face.
Probably my nieces and nephews. Like, I think about them all the time. And like, my brother has 2 girls, and my youngest sister has 3 boys. So yeah, thinking about them makes me.
Would you adopt since you don't have any?
Not while I'm single. Nope. Not while I'm single. Like, if I found out that I absolutely couldn't have children, which I can. But if I found out that I absolutely couldn't have children, and I found a suitor, that's old school term. Like, if I found a suitor, I definitely would adopt. But hopefully, he would be on board with that. I would even consider surrogacy. Like,
Yeah, I thought about doing it. Yeah.
Are your eggs like frozen? You got them like.
I would have to get them frozen. Yeah, I'll consider that. But you gotta have money for that though. Like, goddamn, like, this shit's expensive.
Oh, you mean to get a surrogate? Oh, I thought about being a surrogate.
Oh no, I wouldn't be. I don't think I could. Like, I would have to have somebody else carry the baby for me. But I would just be worried about like they habits and stuff like that. But anyway, that's splitting hairs. But yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, I would be a surrogate. Or I don't know if I still would, but like.
Cause you gotta go through everything.
You gotta pay. You definitely gotta pay.
Yeah, you gotta pay.
But no, I had a friend. I told him before, like, I would be a surrogate for him.
Oh, so why don't you just use the sperm then?
I got a man.
I'm just saying. I'm saying since he already know you and y'all cool, y'all got a relationship.
He facetious.
Yeah.
You are facetious.
Just use his sperm. Scared one care, right?
Use his sperm for what? I'm saying if he wanted to have
for his baby.
Yeah, that's what being a surrogate is.
But they medically take it in the office. It's like,
I know what that means, but I'm just saying he can just have his baby and y'all be cool. You know what I'm saying? He just take the baby.
Yeah, that's surrogacy.
No, surrogacy like another woman eggs that you put in, right?
Surrogate is holding somebody's baby for them.
It could be both, I believe. It could
like
be
if you so another woman could take your eggs too,
right.
And you take their baby, their husband's sperm or whatever, and you hold the baby.
And it's genetically like her baby.
Right. But if she didn't want to do that, and she was okay, she could have his baby for them.
Yeah, like I can use my own eggs and give him a baby.
Okay. So a truck hit abortion right protesters in Iowa, and one of the protesters was hospitalized. So y'all think that's going too far? Like when protesters like block the highway and shit like that?
That's like, they blocked the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was like fuck it, like somebody
fuck out the
To
way.
me, like, I get wanting to make a statement. I get that. I totally get that. But, like, when you start impeding on other people's daily lives and all that stuff, like, I
mean, but it only... My bad, go ahead.
No, like you're saying, like you have to infringe on something.
Yes, in order to make a statement.
I got you, but I guess I'm like, okay, like, so what is too far? Like, you killing motherfuckers now? Like, is this what we doing? You know, we running motherfuckers over now?
It's just redundant. Like, if you kill somebody about killing somebody, then,
it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what the fuck what are we fighting for? For real. Nah, hit them.
Right.
If they get in a row, I want to hit pedestrians all the time.
Look, the only way I would see that be an excuse is like if you went on a strike at a factory and then you see your replacements coming in to keep that fucking factory going. You like, now I'm just saying, like I could understand that one a little bit more.
You can sleep on it.
I'm really joking. I don't condone it, but I'm just saying I understand that more than I do. Like you gonna kill, you talking about not killing people, but you out here killing people. Like come on now, like we doing some oxymoronic bullshit out here now. So
if you jump in the street, it's like hitting a nigga. Like hey, he might hit you back.
Exactly.
Okay, the story about the guy killing an employee over too much mayo.
So, yeah, I just heard about that.
That is absolutely sad. Like I looked at that. Now I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, and I probably shouldn't say this. Like, it was so surreal. Like,
sure.
like what the guy said earlier. I didn't know if it was satire or not. I'm like, man, like this can't be real. Like somebody got killed over some mayo. When I looked at the girl's picture, I just got so overwhelmingly sad. Like that shit was sad. Like this girl lost her life over some fucking because she put too much mayo or
she handed him the sandwich with too much mayo.
I don't know
who did what. It
was, whose sandwich was it?
The guy who killed him.
No, I really think it's.
No, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Cause see, I didn't know whose sandwich it belonged to. Like, was
it's a video of her getting shot?
No, it's just a video.
I'm sure it is. I wonder if they gonna put it out.
I don't think that's real.
Nothing like that.
I don't think that's real.
It's whatever it is.
It's a war. It's a war on guns right now, though. Like everybody, all the politicians. It's an election year too. Like they trying to get these local things working with. They are trying to make a fucking agenda against guns. So now all this gun violence is just coming out of nowhere.
It's gun violence. They just blowing it
up
right now.
You're right. It's taking over the new.
Yeah,
it's like a media blitz. Yeah.
So that don't make how all of a sudden everybody just mad shooting each other right now.
It's going on.
It's been going on.
Exactly.
So why we highlighting it today?
Right.
So give me one of y'all like bad restaurant stories. Like maybe you witnessed or you went through. Cause I done seen some crazy shit.
I would probably have to say working at the Waffle House made me never want to go there again. Like I didn't even have to be a patron. Like, and it wasn't necessarily a nasty place. Like the facility, the facility wasn't necessarily nasty, but I didn't like when I found out things that were in the food and how the storage and stuff went and stuff like that. Like I just was like I can't.
What's in the food?
Do this. Like, okay, so canola oil. So I don't know if y'all know the history of canola oil. Some people try to say it's a theory, but canola oil got its name from Canada oil. But canola oil, so a couple of decades back, Canada found themselves with a surplus of this textile oil that they couldn't do anything with. This particular oil this particular oil was an oil that would help make pages on a magazine shiny. Mm-hmm. Now you can look it up again. Like people say that it's a theory, and it's kind of been, kind of like covered up or whatever. So you could call me a liar or not, but this is what I researched and this is what I read. And so what happened was they needed to find a way to get rid of this oil, so they struck a deal with the United States, and the United States was like, we'll find a way to get rid of it. So they did something to it, kind of altered it a little bit, and they made a new oil. Because think about it, like back in the day, we didn't have no canola oil. That shit just came on the scene like maybe 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. We ain't never heard of no canola oil. We heard of corn oil. It's not the same. And so the, what is it called, the FDA, they made a category for canola oil to be acceptable, and they call it the GRS category. They put it in a special category that they created called the generally regarded as safe. And that means like as long as you don't take it in too large of portions, that you should be okay. But like when it first came out, and this is like when I was like really studying the different conspiracies, what I read about canola oil, that over time, that if you take too much of it, it could cause nerve damage. And again, it's all shrouded in supposedly theory, but at the time I was researching it, it was more prevalent. But now I tried to research it now, and they're like pushing that shit to the bottom. Like what I'm saying don't even really exist. Like I just made the shit up out of my head almost, is what it was seen. But this was like 17 years ago when I studied this.
Have you ever been shadow banned?
I'll tell you this, I've never been shadow banned, but because I'm not really into conspiracies anymore, because really I could give a fuck less. I just know what I remember researching. Like I don't give a fuck what people do, like all this extra shit that people want to do, they want to whatever, I don't care. Like it doesn't really concern me, but it used to concern me because I used to have a belief in our government being a benevolent entity. And then I was like, okay, well, these people are supposed to be helping us. They're supposed to be over us, guiding us in the right way. And I just started seeing something wrong with the system. And then it made me research, and I went down rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. And I'm like, this shit is fucked up. Like, and then it got to the point where like it almost started driving me crazy, because I'm like, what can you do?
Nothing.
Like, you know, at the end of like, what can you do? So really, you just have to find your way and find your peace of mind. Like, and if this stuff is going on, you just have to figure it out for yourself. Like I studied like how to be a maroon, and like get your birth certificate eliminated, and you can buy your birth certificate back with the silver. And these are not bad ideas. You can go sovereign, stuff like that. The only thing about when you start traveling down those rabbit holes, if your ass get pulled over, you better know what the fuck you talking about, because if you disconnect yourself from your social security card and they take you and they throw you in prison, they will have no way of identifying you. So it's like all these things that you have to be careful of, and I used to be on that. So that's kind of how I got to the canola oil conspiracy, if that's what you want to call it. But you just have to be smart, you know.
Live. You still into conspiracies?
No, I'm really not. Not like I'm aware of things, but I don't let it bother me. Like I don't at that point, like you, what was the question you asked me? Have I ever been shadow banned? What I was gonna say to that is, I used to research so much conspiracy that I remember one time something flashed up on my computer like an Anubis, and all these symbols came up on my computer, and that computer shut down, and I was never able to turn it back on again, because I was researching some shit. I mean, I was on there like,
what is Anubis? You saying all these words, I'm like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
the
what
Egyptian thing with the dog head, the man with the dog head, the Egyptian hieroglyphic, the man with the dog head that be on the wall. He got the thing on his head, and he got a face like a dog. You know what an Anubis is. Look it up. You know, it's the man with the dog head. Like you got the Sphinx.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so all that
She's
shit.
gonna let her keep explaining.
I know, like, I don't like, give me a break here.
I'm trying to let you go on like to cut people out. So I mean,
oh,
you go.
that's a good habit. I need to learn that habit. But yeah, so I ain't never been shadow banned, but I did have some freaky shit like that happen before. Like a laptop of mine, like I said, I was researching. I was burning that motherfucker up. Researching like the man on Mars and flat earth and hollow earth and all this shit. I'm looking up all this shit and my computer just started doing some crazy shit and it just combusted and never turned back on again.
My phone just randomly started listening to me all the time. I'll be like, I'm not talking to y'all. See? Oh, I got a message. You saw it light up?
Okay, damn, I just had to. Yeah, okay, it was a video. It was a woman, she told her kids she didn't care about them in court, and she was like, because they got in her way of doing what she really wanted to do. So
they was taking their kids away from her?
No, they was older. I guess they was like, I don't know if they was suing her or something, but they was just in court telling her like they background, with their mama. So like, y'all got any what y'all think about that, and like, do y'all got any like stories about y'all mom?
Ooh yeah.
My mom was an addict for a couple of years. Well, not a couple, for about 20 years, and
Crack.
And
Hold on, okay. So was you a crack baby?
No. No, I was born in the 70s. Crack wasn't quite popular, but it probably was out. I think they was snorting coke back then. But yeah, I'm a 70s baby.
So you're a coke baby. You rich. You too rich to be a crack baby.
No, I'm not a coke baby. No, but she got on drugs really bad. And I actually kind of, when I lived with her, I took advantage of that because I know she was like focused on the drugs. So I was like, I want to go to my mama's house because I can do whatever the fuck I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad, he was, trying to like curfew and have me in and all this shit. I'm like, fuck this.
I'm going to mommy.
I'm going over to my mom's house. And so that kind of was like, when children learn that they could play the parents against each other, I was on that. So yeah, but yeah, so what was the actual question again? Like,
just give me like stories about y'all mom might have saying something crazy to y'all or hurt y'all feelings, basically.
My mama didn't ever really say nothing to me to hurt my feelings, but I remember having jewelry and money on me at times, and I would hide my jewelry and money when I would be over there. I would hide it in my underwear, and when I would wake up, my money and my jewelry would be gone, and it would be all this sad ass story about, oh, I didn't know and I had to get it because I, like,
in your underwear?
Girl, you was sleeping hard as fuck.
Yeah.
God
yeah.
damn.
I couldn't believe it. I'm telling you, like rings, jewelry, I hide it in my underwear and shit. And motherfuckers been in my underwear, and I know it was probably like, of course it was my mom that did it because she knew what I had, and yeah, that fucking drugs, when that shit get a hold of you though, like it's
I would have went over her house but naked.
Whatever.
No, I don't need that. I don't need no clothes. I'm good.
Right. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
She gonna take it. You good.
So, but yeah, that was hurtful, for your, your mom, like, that's mother. Like, you look at your mother as, your shining star in your life, and then you like, damn, you gonna fucking steal my money and my goddamn jewelry. But guess what? I wanted to go over there still because I got to do whatever the fuck I wanted to, So
and what was that?
Stay out all night long, go smoke weed, and I wasn't really doing a whole lot of stuff. I just did what I wanted to do. Like, I wasn't a criminal or anything like that. It's just I wanted to go hang out, and I really didn't really smoke weed until I was like 17, 18 or whatever. But every now and then I might smoke weed. But if I just wanted to be out all night long and not fucking go to school like I was supposed to, then I just stayed over her house and not went to school when I didn't want to. So I took advantage of that.
Okay, what about your
Shit, my mother told me one time kids is like the biggest disappointment in life outside of life itself. Damn. I was like, God damn. And I knew she was talking about me. Like, I knew she wasn't talking about my sister. Because I'm like, you talking to me.
She was hinting.
Oh yeah, she wasn't hinting. She was letting me know.
I wouldn't fuck with her if she said some shit like this.
It's difficult though, because my mom was like the best mother on the planet. Like,
and that's what I be talking about, that 80-20.
Yeah.
Like, the person that you are is who you are, and you just got that 20% asshole, that motherfucker that come out every now and then. But people always want to say that's the real you. That is not the fucking real you. That's that motherfucker that everybody try to keep in the closet. That's that motherfucker that don't nobody want to meet, or you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to be honest, like, you know, like if you have a helpmeet or a spouse or a significant other, to let them know, like, hey, I could be this at times, but, you know, by me being around you, this person doesn't manifest as often, or, you know, I can control it a little bit more. And that's, to me, that's how you know you really found somebody that is compatible with you, because that ugly side of you doesn't manifest as much, if at all. Like, you know, I don't know them personally, but I have heard tales of couples that never fought, and all they did was call each other honey and baby all the way up until they was 70, 80 years old. God rest their soul. Like, this is true people that I've been told about, you know. So it is a such thing as, you know, being, you know, completely compatible with people. But then, you know, a lot of us don't get that lucky, so we still have to deal with the imperfections and deal with that bullshit that we all got about us, that we need to be honest about, though.
Not for real.
You know, because I'm really quick, like if I take a picture and I use a filter and somebody compliments my picture, I'll let them know I used the filter on that, just to let you know. I don't really quite
trying to be honest, for real.
I do, because I don't want any, like, but I like the way the filters look, and I know that if I really if I went to my professional makeup lady, whatever I look like in a filter, I could have her make me look like that. So it's not like a true deception or whatever, but I'm just saying, if I wanted to achieve that look, I could. But I don't look like this
so
every
you try
day.
really hard to make sure, like, nah, like,
yes,
you keep everybody, this ain't me, this is who I am. Yeah. I respect that.
I'm so blunt and honest. When I'm with somebody that I want to be intimate with, I'm upfront about what I want and what I don't want. Like, I don't pull like all that shy shit.
Okay. This me.
Okay, so what you want and don't want?
I'm not about to tell you. You just be so
She
all in the business. I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying, like, if I'm in an intimate setting with somebody, I'm not gonna pull no punches. Like, it's not gonna be no guessing games. Like, you know.
So what's the side of you? What come with the side of you that you gonna want everybody? That 20%.
I can be very, very stubborn, and I don't really go by horoscopes per se, but I do think there's a lot of truth to them, because I'm born May 20th, so I'm a Taurus the Bull, but I'm on the Gemini cusp, so I also have a lot of Gemini traits. So I'm kind of a little bit of a hybrid oddball in there or whatnot. But yeah, man, like, okay, I would say the worst part about me is when I get mad, I would tell my partner, let me process it, let me blow through it, because if you make me put a cap on it, that's the worst for me. I'm a fucking bull. I need to blow that steam. Once I blow that steam, you let me get it out, I'm good after that. Just let me have my tantrum or whatever.
Talk crazy.
Not really talk crazy. I mean, it might entail that. I'm not gonna harm anybody, and I might say some choice words, like, you know, stupid motherfucker or some bullshit like that, or something. But whatever it is, or whatever I feel like needs to be done, let me fucking blow that steam off. Even if I need to step out and go work out, if I can catch it. Sometimes I can't always catch it because I'm so fucking mad that I don't care to catch it, and I want to blow the steam off or whatever. I know I'm not going to tear my shit up. I used to do that when I was younger. I used to fucking tear shit up, rip shit. I don't do that anymore, because now I'm grown. Like, if I tear shit up, I got to fucking replace that shit. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. Like, that was like when I was young. But that was, you know, but I just, you know, if I get upset, I just be wanting to blow it off or say what I have to say, and, you know, make peace with that.
So what's talk crazy if somebody mad?
To me?
To you.
Yeah, to you.
Basically, like, okay, I put it like this. Okay, don't talk to me. Talk to me like somebody who will beat your ass. So you don't talk to me crazy because you know what I'm saying? People talk to you a certain way if they knew you gonna beat their ass. So talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? And we good.
Talk to me like you scared of me.
Yeah, like I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass. So you gonna be respected.
That sounds like a promise. That ain't even a threat. That's a fucking promise, buddy. Oh my God.
You say it all the time. But do you feel
Say
like
what you want to say, but don't do it like
Don't
yelling
be
and cussing and all that shit. Like,
It's definitely a way.
so
to
people
go.
can't yell?
not at me. I don't like women yelling at me. Nah.
I'm crying. Women are loud though. I mean, are you able to decipher if somebody's yelling at you versus
Right,
just yelling
versus
because they're upset?
right, because I'm excitable. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
if you ever heard me and my mom on the phone or me and my sisters on the
It's
phone,
like an argument.
you would think that we was just going, but that's just how we are. We like, and most of the time we be joking and laughing and playing the dozens, and that is one thing that I kind of had to learn about my family and I. Like, we come from a blue collar family, so we don't. I've never been in a family environment really that was kind of like nurturing. Like our way of endearing somebody was like, yeah.
Come on.
Like, but everybody, I had to learn that everybody don't like that.
They don't get it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it came to a point where you always sarcastic, you always got something smart to say, and you always put me down. Or okay, let's just like say somebody had an experience, and I'd be like, oh yeah, because and I would say something kind of being funny or making sarcastic. Some people's feelings
be
really
hurt.
Yes. And I had to learn that shit is not for everybody, and I had to tone that down. Like I was a manager at a retail store, and I had this girl, like she was super. I love her to death. She was super sensitive. She would always tell me like, Miss LaShawn, like you be hurting my feelings. And I'd be like, damn, like
I ain't even know.
I'm so sorry, like for real. And so I like recently had to learn like that shit is not for everybody.
Do that bother you though to have to adjust?
No,
and not be able to say
it doesn't. It doesn't, because I do pride myself on being a lifelong student. I do not believe in you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I do not fucking believe that in misnomer, because I believe that's a programming that people put you in. So like when you get a certain age, you stop learning. Now I believe when you get a certain age, it's harder for you to learn, but I don't believe you ever stop learning unless you want to stop learning.
I get bothered if I'm trying, like if I feel like I'm trying to change it, but nobody's noticing. Like you still big offended, bro. Like I'm still hurting your feelings. This is a fucking 3.
You can't tell somebody how to feel though.
Right.
But I'm with you there. But I'll be like that sometimes too. Like, goddamn, motherfucker, I'm trying.
Right, like calm down, bro. I'm not even that important to be like tripping like that. That shit really throw me off. I'm like, you hurt.
Yeah.
But it's like you grow up tough. Like,
yeah. Like I'm telling you, we used to play the dozen. Like I used to watch my uncle crack on people so hard. So I used to go to school and crack on people. Like even though I was kind of like, because we was kind of poor and unorganized with our clothes and stuff, I was kind of like the dusty kid. But don't fucking get me in no fucking dozens. Like you ain't gonna. The only thing and back then, the only thing you could talk about was my teeth.
Yeah.
But after you get done with that, what else you got? Because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Like don't. Yeah. So that was
like a Joe your ass.
Oh man. It was going down. Like I ain't care. Like you can call me skinny. Like I already know that. So once you talk about because back in the day when I was younger, I had a chipped tooth. Once you talk about my chipped tooth and about me being skinny, you ain't got nothing else. Like your arsenal is gone. Because I wasn't ugly.
Right.
I just had a chipped tooth. Like so that's all you getting. So.
Well, if I talk to if I got into it with somebody who good looking, I'm talking about your mama, your grandma, your dad. Hey, I'm getting you good somewhere.
Right.
I never could drown. I would just laugh it off. I couldn't drown like a lot of people didn't try to talk about me, but the people who did was like my forehead. But I'm like,
they usually don't have a one-trick pony. Like
yeah. After that, I was like, I'm cute, so you probably like me, so I don't give
exactly.
I don't care.
Right.
All right, let's go wrap this up. What about an hour and a half?
Okay.
What you been going, huh?
Okay, so tell us about the projects you're working on, and are you selling any kind of merch or anything?
Yes, so this past weekend, I just came back, the weekend before last, I just came back from Juneteenth celebration from Minnesota, and I did really good selling my little nose rings. These are non-pierced nose rings. So I tell them like teenagers, you may not want to go through with the piercing. I eventually think I want to get the piercing, but I like the styles of these and like being able to interchange them
out.
Yeah. And then I have the ones that go up here, and then I have the ones that connect here, and all these different ones. They did really well, so I do that. And that page is Nosy Rosie. So I do that. That's kind of like a hobby. I probably won't really launch into that again until the fall, because I made a big investment. I got most of my money back in Minnesota, so it wasn't too bad. But my main project is my money maker, which is my voice acting school. And then I have a book coming out, actually 3 books coming out. One is a standalone book from a childhood story that my grandmother used to tell me, so it will be kind of like a remake of a public domain book. And then a part 2 of Tammy and Sammy Adventures, and then I got one basically chronicling my life as a child up into the present, on how I had a foundation with media and voice acting as a child, and how that translates onto what I do now as a talk show hostess and podcaster and voice actress. So that book is coming out. But my school, which is my pride and joy, LVAMU, which is LaShonsvoice Acting Micro University. I built this university from scratch online on Talent LMS, and it basically, we talked about it a little bit earlier, it teaches people the fundamentals of voice acting. It's going to teach you basic voice acting and theater appreciation. It's going to teach you basic audio engineering, so if you don't know how to edit, I'm going to teach you basic editing, and you can translate this into an actual skill, a viable skill that you can use in a lot of careers. And I think we are going back into COVID, or a type of COVID, so this would be a great skill to have if you want to get into something like online, just projects, editing or whatever. This will be a good segue into it. And then of course, last but not least, you got to learn how to make money. You got to learn how to talk to people. Like when I first got into it, I approached a hotel chain. I made $1,700 just by leaving voicemails. Doing voicemails for the hotel. So if you call about 17 hotels in the Columbus, Phoenix City area, you're gonna hear my voice when you call. And I'm like,
dope.
Yeah, like, thank you for calling Hilton, Garden, yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, it's money to be made. You just gotta know where to look for the money.
Dope. So you showing people where the money at?
Oh yeah,
showing the money.
Yeah.
Okay, any last words, Kay?
I'm crying. You feel like it's anything that you want to leave us with, like something you ain't told them that they should know?
I think that everything that I've said here kind of echoes this. If you're not happy, if you feel like what you're doing right now is not what you really want to do, fucking take the risk, goddammit. Like jump off the motherfucking porch. Like,
leave your husband or whoever.
I mean,
get happy.
See how he do that? That is facetious. That is ugly. That was ugly right there. But whatever it takes, like, and the thing about it was, it really wasn't leaving my husband per se. It was leaving a situation that we both were unhappy. He wasn't happy either. It wasn't just me not being happy, because he had some things in mind that he wanted to do, which was to fucking be a 9-to-5er all his life. If I'm ambitious and I'm traveling, I'm like, come on, let's go, but you're still complaining about money, but you're not willing to move, you're fucking insane. Because you're saying that you want to change these things. Now here was the kicker. Every business that I will open, the one business that I didn't talk to y'all about that I opened my own retail store. I took a retention bonus that I got from working for the airline, which, by the way, was the best job that I ever had, and I think I may want to go back to the airlines one day. I took a retention bonus. I studied and manifested for a whole summer on how, like, cloth diapers and natural parenting and all this for a whole summer. I took $2,000 and I opened up a retail store. It was amazing. It was probably like one of the best business adventures that I ever did. What happened with that was I partnered with this girl that I didn't really know. I didn't know her personality, and we kind of really didn't mesh well together. So I ended up selling her my half of the business. Once she saw what was really going on, she thought that I made that shit look easy. And once she seen how hard it really was, she had to give it up. So that was the end of that. But it was an amazing adventure. I made history. Nobody in Columbus, Georgia ever had a cloth diaper retail store before, especially African American woman. So, you know, I did things that I was never able to do. So the point that I was making was, he would brag about every adventure that I had, but he never wanted to be a part of it. He was waiting on it to be successful, but you didn't want to join in on me with it. I'm like, come on, let's do this together.
People don't want that, like,
and
some people are workers. You should have hired them.
I tried to. He wasn't.
He didn't want to work for you.
He didn't want to work for me, I guess. You know, and ain't nothing wrong with that, because everything worked out the way it was supposed to. But I just leave the people with this. Like, if it's something that is burning on your heart, definitely count the cost first. Like, don't be fucking stupid. Like, count the cost. But if it's something that, like, if you just can't stop thinking about it, no matter what the Matrix says you're supposed to be in, like, you're supposed to have kids, you're supposed to get married, you're supposed to live happily ever after with the picket fence and go to school and get a degree and all this stuff that, you know, we're kind of plugged in. Like, sometimes you gotta think outside of what we are told, and don't get 70 and 80 years old and be like, oh, I wish I would have tried to dance, or I wish I would have took karate, because I was real good at it when I was a kid, but I never pursued it. Like, don't fucking die with those types of regrets. Like, at the end of the day, at least you could say you fucking tried that shit. So that's all I want to end with.
All right. Literally is no pressure. We gonna be right back with another interview, man. We out.
Hey.
So we're gonna pause.